I've had this idea for a blog post that I really wanted to write. The only problem was that every single time I sat down at my computer, I couldn't figure out how to word anything. I would start and I would write a paragraph and then delete the paragraph, and then I would write a sentence and delete the sentence, and it just went on like this over and over, and finally I decided this was not going to work in written form. So instead I'm choosing to do a video, and this is the first time I've done this, so just bear with me as I work out the kinks of it all, but we'll see how it goes. So ultimately the question that I want to talk about is really simple. It's just, if I could go back in time and change something, anything, about my life, would I? I recently had to ask my parents this question in regard to their financial decisions for an assignment I was working on for one of my classes. And I expected things like my mom to talk about buying cars used instead of new, or being more cautious with credit cards, because these are things we had talked about before. But what I didn't expect was for my dad to say that he wouldn't change anything. See, in his mind, all of the things that have happened up to this point, good or bad, have shaped where he is now. So he only knows what he knows now because of what has happened. So there's no point in changing them, because otherwise he wouldn't have learned the lesson. In a lot of ways, I'm like my dad. Whenever I've thought about this question before or have been asked it, I've really said, I wouldn't change anything about my life. You know, I believe in loving through pain because I've had to love someone through pain. I believe that people don't have to fit in the box that society has laid out for us, because my little sister has Down syndrome, doesn't fit in a box, and is my favorite person in the whole world. I believe in focusing on potential rather than appearance when it comes to compliments, because having a sense of purpose is far more satisfying than simply being pretty for me. But lately I've realized that there is something I would change. And that's the fact that growing up I never thought I was good enough. Pretty enough, smart enough, kind enough, calm enough, spontaneous enough, cool enough, athletic enough, you name the category and I can tell you how I wasn't enough. And I've realized that's really harmful. It's harmful to never allow yourself to be confident. It's not humble to refuse to believe in yourself. And even though it's healthy to recognize areas that we don't excel, for example, I will never sing opera like my oldest sister Emily, and I will never take photographs like my other sister Jen, but it's also healthy to realize that we can be confident in areas that we do excel in. I'm smart. I've always gotten good grades fairly easily, and I always finish tests first. I'm witty. I can think of quick remarks really fast, and I thrive off of banter. You know, I love to speak in front of crowds. I'm confident in front of crowds. I love crafting messages in a way that just feels right, and then delivering them in a way that feels even better. It shouldn't have taken me 20 years to figure out that it was okay to be confident in the ways God has gifted me. It just shouldn't have. I mean, everyone is gifted, and every gift serves a purpose. And when we refuse to accept our gifts, we're selling everybody short. Ourselves, the people who our gifts could influence. It's a lose-lose. So if I could change anything about myself, I would eagerly encourage past Juliana to get it together, get past fear or whatever kept her from accepting her skills, and to embrace them so that she could cultivate them and become so much better, so much quicker. Because I could have been working on refining my craft as a preacher so much earlier if I had just accepted, you know what, I love being in front of crowds and I love speaking and I'm a good writer, so how do I bring those together and work to improve them now? And I would encourage you to do the same. If you find yourself in that position where you just can't accept the gifts God has given you, work through it. Stop telling yourself you're not enough, because you are. You've been gifted, your gifts serve a purpose, and it's going to be so much better than you can possibly imagine. I guarantee it. There are very few things that are better than finding where God has gifted you and constantly learning how to be better at it.